I was thinking about another way to explain what I've been talking about in previous posts about not having a need met, and that's why we get into these patterns of addiction. And that could be drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, and of course food, binging, sugar. So I'm not teaching you to suck eggs here, but obviously when we are turning to those things, it's trying to fill a hole. So there's an emotional hole there that's not being looked after. So sometimes, like with food or with sugar, it's a way to give ourselves a hug. That's what it's been described before, or to make us feel cared for a couple of minutes. But of course, what happens is then after that we just feel shit again because it's only a fleeting moment, and then we heap a whole load of shame on ourselves. And the same thing happens with alcohol and drugs. So what I would say is that need is not being met at the moment or yet. So that's why you may be turning to these other things. So the beauty of therapy is that, as I've explained before, you get the chance to break it down and understand where it comes from. And that doesn't mean that you have to rake over the past that's causing the issue. You don't have to. You can do content-free therapy and it works just as well. So you don't have to talk about any of those old things. In fact, my realization in therapy was that the more I talked about the past and the injuries I felt from the past, the issues I had from growing up, things that happened, it actually kept me in that dark place. So I realise now that I learnt a lot from those experiences, but that that doesn't go away. It just makes you who you are, and there are challenges that you can learn from, and sometimes they're awful, but you're always a new page. So the things that you've been through make you who you are, but they're also a learning tool that you can use to get to where you want to be. And sometimes we have ideas about where we want to be and they're in our head, and we don't actually break it down and plan it out and make a really clear picture about where we want to be in the future. And because we're stuck in this kind of holding pattern, we end up in these addictive situations because we're trying to numb stuff that just doesn't go away but doesn't actually help us move forward. So that's what therapy is about. It's about finding someone who can help you create the goals you want to get to, help you take those steps, those small steps, and become the person you want to be. And if you are in an addictive pattern, the amazing thing is, as I found out from being in addictive patterns myself, you start to find incredible strength. The more you find things that you can do to replace those addictive patterns, the stronger and stronger you become, and the more you find the true you. the authentic you. This stuff that's going on right now is just getting in the way, and it can be very, very expensive as well. But I promise you that you can move forward. Everyone is a new page. Every day we are a new page. We can start over. We can change our mental filter. We can be given the tools to realise that even the way we breathe, the way we walk, the way we set our day up can completely change your whole physiology from the inside. The way you can feel about life going forward, it takes on a completely different picture. And they are not outlandish things you have to do. They're things that you can just move into your day really easily. I have things that I do every day that make me feel alive and connected to people and thriving. And they include exercise and the way I breathe and the kind of simple techniques I bring into the day. But I was in a stage where I would not have done any of those things and couldn't see myself doing any of those things. And what I love doing now is sharing those techniques with other people. So whatever kind of addictive pattern you found yourself in, just think of it as temporary. And that if it's temporary and you've really reached that threshold, that point where you think, this isn't me, this is not the real me, I am not this person, I don't recognise myself, this stuff works for a minute or two, but then I still feel shit afterwards, I know I can do better than this. You can. You absolutely can. And I know I'm banging on about this stuff. It's because, you know, it's true, and I really love what I do. And, you know, you find the therapist for you. I've got some really wonderful colleagues who are all in hypnotherapy and NLP as well. And you find the right one for you, because there are some brilliant people out there, but just don't think that you're a done deal, because you're not. I don't care if you're 85, you can still start over and do something completely different. So I'm just here to say, look after yourself, and if you have reached that threshold, you can contact me and we can set up a confidential chat. SamanthaKempTherapy.com, or message me here. But just know today, if you're watching this for the first time, that you are not a done deal, that you always have the opportunity to flip things and do things differently. I spent some of my time training with some Buddhist monks, and one of the things that we always learnt was that every day is a new day and that you can start fresh. You can start over when you decide. You've just got to make the decision, really. So I hope that helps. And whatever you're doing today, take care of yourself and have a really good day.